In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to initiate your Blogger account, how to create a blog, how to create a blog post, how to link out to other resources on other websites, and how to change your blogging name to something else. Alright, so you want to go to blogger.com. I'll retype it here, blogger.com. It's a Google service, so your West Georgia Google username and password, the same thing that you use to access email, should work for this. You can also use a different Google account. You can create a brand new one just for this class. You can use one that you've used for years, some other Gmail address that you have. That's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. And sign in. Okay. And you see a variety of things when you sign in, like especially if you're on a different computer or you've never done it before, you may see extra things beyond what I'm showing you, and certainly if you're watching this months or semesters beyond the time I've made this, Google will have added additional things you might have to get through just to protect you. And this is new. I actually logged into this account 5 minutes ago and did not even see this then, but this is a new screen that's popped up. So I'll go ahead and look at it with you, even though it may not pop up for you. Help us keep your account secure. Just verify your mobile phone number and we'll let you know if we notice unusual activity. I'm going to skip this step right now. Alright, and then this is what I saw earlier 5 minutes ago when I had logged in here. It wants us to confirm our profile. It shows what I'll be seen as. You may or may not see this screen. If you don't see it, then you've probably already done something like it, or by the time you're watching this, Google has a different approach to this. I scroll down and I'm going to turn off email notification because I do not wish to have additional messages about Blogger. And here it says prefer to post under a different name, switch to a limited Blogger profile. And that's important to anybody that wants to make blog posts in this class, but not necessarily have the outside world know who you are. I need to know who you are, and I'll figure it out. I'll figure out when you submit blogs by the name Spotted Leopard. I'll know that it's you. So just don't keep changing your name all semester. Just pick your profile that you want, whether it's your real name or it's a sort of pseudonym. Either way is fine, but you can switch to a limited Blogger profile and have a display name of whatever you like. Surely that name has been taken by somebody on the internet already. So I'm going to continue to Blogger. So now I have a purple spotted lizard can create a blog now. There are no blogs created yet, but again, that's the name when I make blog posts that will be created. Okay, just for fun, the next step will be to actually create a blog and then create a blog post. So I'm going to show you something. We're going to look at a blog that exists called Speaking of History. So the name of this blog, this person who created this blog titled it Speaking of History. So that tells us a little bit about what his blog is about. He's probably writing about something related to history. So it's a clever name. He didn't just give it some number for a name or give it some totally boring name. He kind of thought, okay, what is my blog about? Now, then he came up with a name, and then he claimed that name on Blogger, speakingofhistory.blogspot.com. So that's the decision you're going to have to make. What is your blog going to be titled? Sort of the big picture. A blog is kind of like a newspaper. Like here we have the New York Times, and within it are individual entries. So this entry is about a first lady at 50 finding her own path. This entry is about, for the UN, South Sudan has become defining crisis. This entry is about Hiru Onoda, war holdout for 29 years, dies. It's an obituary. And it's all under this, you can think of the New York Times title, the newspaper title, sort of the blog title. Just like here, the blog title Speaking of History, and it has these multiple entries. So turning to this, then going away from the newspaper metaphor, blog entries about various things that are probably slightly, if not very directly, related to the title. The Hudson River Miracle 5 years later. So we've got a story, a historical story, we've got pictures about it, we've got links out to things. Here we have a blog post on why I love ed camps. Not sure what those are, but anyway, photographs, links out, Twitter feeds and Twitter people linked in there. Gift ideas for geeky teachers. So all of this goes under the. So these are all blog posts. These things with the blue titles. These are blog posts that represent some topic. It's kind of like an essay. And they have links, and they can have photographs and all kinds of stuff. So go check out a blog. Speaking of history.blogspot.com is a great example of one to go look at. If this is really advice for people that have never, either you don't read blogs much or you've never made one before. Hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of blog versus blog post. So what we're going to do right now is create our blog. Again, this is like our personal newspaper for the things we're going to talk about. So I'm going to create one. We have to give it a title. We have to give it an address. Let's see, for title, I'm just going to give it a rather boring name. I'm sorry. It's still a little too straightforward, honestly, but you know, think about it. What is this class about? You're going to be talking about educational issues in this class. You can try to give a blog title that's related to that, or you can give a blog title for yourself more generally. For example, I have a blog called So Rambles. I can't really explain it, but it's just a place where I ramble. And that's a really broad title, honestly. And so that means I put anything on there that I want. So what do we want the address to be? I'm going to be boring and say my educational issues space. That's not the best blog title, is it? It says this blog address is available. I would urge you though not to just put like your Westguy username. Don't put your. I would prefer you don't put the title of the class like EDUC 2110. Please don't do that. Try to come up with something. Do something better than I've done. I have an excuse. I've been getting up at 5 a.m. every day this week, and it's now Friday, and I'm just dying. You're young and frisky, and I challenge you to come up with a much better blog title than this. Alright, and then once you've picked your title, you've picked your address, and that blog address is indeed available, then you can pick a template. There are other templates as well. Maybe I'll go with dynamic views. I'll pick that for now. You can always change it later. Hit create blog, and it says it's creating a blog. Okay, so now we're back here again. This is our dashboard. This is the back side of your blog. This is the sort of the inside of your blog that only you get to see. Nobody else sees this area. This is where you manage things. You manage your reading list. If you want to follow other blogs, you don't have to worry about this in this class. And you also manage your blogs. You have, right now, I have one called My Educational Issues Space. This is a blog where I can put multiple entries, multiple posts. This can be a dynamic space that people follow and read, and you know, they're on the edge of their chairs waiting for my next post. But just to let you know, you can create more than one blog. So you could have a different blog, maybe a different one about your golfing hobby, or a different one about your hobby for studying old trains, or maybe one for your hobby of doing geocaching. It could have a completely different focus. So this is the blog about your educational issues, and that's all you have to do in this class. But I did want to tell you, you're not limited to one blog. You could have another one. So again, this is the dashboard from which you manage all of your blogs. Alright, so let's check our to-do list because I can get off track. So we've talked about how to create a blog. We're going to move now into how to create a blog post. Inside of that post, we're going to be linking to outside resources, and I've already addressed this one on how to change your blogging name to something else because I am the purple spotted lizard in this example, so you know how that works. Alright, so let's create a blog post and let's learn how to link out to other resources on other websites. Alright, so one way to do it, so we've got a blog. Let me go ahead and just completely log out, because let's say you set up your blog one day and then you have to come back in another day and you're like, okay, what do I do? So you log in. Let's see, what's my login? What are you logging into? You're logging into, and it doesn't really tell you here, but you're logging into blogger.com. This is unique to my computer, this thing that popped up here. Alright, that takes us to your dashboard, your blog dashboard, where you manage all of your blogs, not just the one for EDUC 2110. But perhaps you've already created My Educational Issues space and you're ready to get to blogging. You can start blogging in a number of ways. You can probably click that, you can probably click that, and you can probably click that. I want to see what happens if you can definitely click this. This is like the, create a new post icon. But let's see what happens if we actually click on My Educational Issues space. Alright, so this takes us a level deeper within this blog. So it's like the sort of the dashboard area for this blog only. It's not for your blog about geocaching, or your blog about golfing, or your blog about old choo-choo trains. This is the dashboard for this particular blog. It's still an insider space that only you can see. So I'm saying that because you don't want to submit the link to this page, because if I try to come to this page, I won't be able to see anything. You're going to want to learn how do you provide the link to the actual blog, because the blog has a link. It's an outside face for the world, and that's what you have to give me. Your insider face is all private, and you do what you want in here. And you can have drafts of things that you can then go in and edit, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff back here. Alright, so we see another option here for making a new post. We can click this. We can probably click that. So either one. They both do the same thing. So let's click New Post. Now, a new post is, just like, think of a post as sort of like an essay. At least in this class, it'll be very essay-like, although I want you to put some, facts and figures and things like that as well, if you have them available. If you have, hard information about your topic. I don't want it all to be fluff or opinion. So, for post number 1, let's just go with a topic. I'm giving it a title. It's kind of a boring, dry title. It looks like an article you'd see in the Wall Street Journal or something. I'm giving the title Significance of International Test Scores for American Students. You're welcome to give cuter titles. Titles should be catchy, but also kind of represent what you're talking about or hint at some aspect of it. Alright, so it shouldn't just be EDUC blog post 1. Please don't do that. Give it a title. Alright, and then you want to put some verbiage into your blog post. So I'm going to just paste some in. Okay. So there's some verbiage that I typed elsewhere and pasting here. We're getting closer. Now I want you to assume that's written in English and that it's on topic. Oops, what did I want to look at? I wanted to look at our list, make sure I'm focusing. Alright, so I've shown you how to create a blog post. I've shown you how to link out to other resources on other websites. No, I haven't. I'm doing that now. Alright. So at the end of this passage, perhaps I say, for more information, visit the article on, the article on killer bees. I went and located an article on killer bees. What makes killer bees so deadly? It asks. Isn't that an interesting title? If you came to this page, you would almost want to read it, wouldn't you? So I challenge you to try to make interesting titles. You don't have to scare the lights out of us, though. That's kind of a really scary title, isn't it? All right, so I've copied the link. I've copied the link to this particular article. And now I need to get my page back up. Alright. And now I'm going to highlight these words because I want to have an attractive link. That is, I want to use nice language, and then I'm going to do some linking in the background. And the way you do that is you highlight the text that you want to become the link. That means when people click on article on killer bees, it'll go to the article on killer bees, but they still read these lovely words instead of looking at this, for example. This is what I don't like. I don't want you to put unattractive links in there like that. Okay? So what we're going to do is a little step more sophisticated, a smidge more sophisticated. You highlight the words that you want to contain the link, then you hit link, and you paste it in here. I like to open links in a new window so that the blog post is still open as well. And you hit OK. So there's an article in Killer Bees. It's linked in there. You can, of course, add pictures as well. And you can browse. You can you can link to a picture from a URL. And the way you do that is, well, I'm not going to get in depth. I'm going to let you guys play with that, because this is not an educational technology class, even though we do use educational technology a bit. So something kind of uncomfortable happened to me as a user that's trying to show something to you. The browser completely froze up, choked up on me. And so I had to close Internet Explorer and reopen it and re-log in, and it saved everything amazingly, which is just wonderful. So I was lucky. You can't always assume it's going to save, but you've got a save button right here. I would say save often, but I do believe that it does auto save as well, because I had not saved. So once your post is ready, you've got your good title, you've got your response to the prompt, you've got some linking, you're linking out to some things on the web, or you're citing your sources. You're not just quoting things without citing them in some fashion. You can do formal citation through APA, MLA, Chicago, that kind of thing, or you can do a more informal sort of blog style citation, which is just where you link out to other things. I want to see posts that are rich in links, because we are going to be talking about the larger world and not just ourselves. So I do want to see some linking. I don't have any guidelines for you here on that, but do be linking, you know, provide enrichment on your blog post so that the reader could conceivably click out and read about other things that you've discovered that you think are interesting. All right, so we've got this blog post titled. We've got it written. Let's publish it, because that's what you want to do to get it on the web. Okay, so we've got a published post. Here we see that there's one post. But how does it look to the outside world? Well, one thing you could do is you could type in the title of your blog. Remember when we titled your blog? I think this one's called My Educational Issues Space.blogspot.com. I could type that into an address bar and go there, because right now I'm still on the inside. But another way to get to the outside is this, which you probably already saw. You can click View Blog, and now it's going to actually take us out to the outside, hopefully, but it looks like Internet Explorer is freezing up again on us, so I may have to pause you and reopen it in a moment. Alright, so Internet Explorer was just taking about 45 seconds to pop open a new window, which it did. Alright, so we're now on the outside. This is what the rest of the world sees. My Educational Issues Space.blogspot.com. Here we see the blog title and the text. Down here are sort of social networking things where people could add comments, or they could retweet or like it on Facebook, that kind of thing. Because we are logged in, we could probably actually blog from, yeah, you can, because you're an insider and you're logged in and the browser knows you're logged in, you'll see this little new post icon. But if you're visiting someone else's blog, like the Speaking of History blog, you won't ever see that. See that little pencil? That always means you can edit. So as long as you're logged into the browser, even when you're viewing your blog on the outside, you can actually go to the inside through this edit pencil. Just a little tip there. Alright, so this is the blog address that you submit. You definitely want to copy that blog address. You want to go to the instructions page. Well, phooey, I need to do something. No, I don't. Eventually, what you're going to do, and by the time you're watching this video, I may also provide a link at the bottom for submitting this blog link. I do want you to give me the blog link. let's see. At the bottom of the session 1 blog instructions, I give you a link to the blog links survey, and you're going to paste your link here, and you're going to give me your name here. So we've got the name, we've got the link to the blog, and we're going to submit. I'm going to go ahead and put that link so that you can submit to that survey thing from the bottom of the Blogger setup page as well. It'll be available there as well by the time you get to it. So let me pause and make sure I've told you everything you need to know. So as promised, I went ahead and added a section on the instruction page for how you give me your blog link. You just go to this blog link survey, input your name and your blog address. You'll also be asked to do that in the instructions for blog post 1, and you don't have to do it twice. So if you do it at the blog setup point, that's fine. If you do it after you finish blog post 1, that's fine as well. Either way works, so don't stress out, and you can even submit twice if you're not sure you did it, because I will filter the list and delete the extras, so don't worry about that either. That's it for this blogging video. I hope I've addressed all of your questions, and I do apologize for it being so very long. Alright, thanks.